I'm recording in a bit of a different spot, so my background is not what it used to be, but that's okay. I don't know how long this video is going to be as I start recording. My intention is for it to be to the point, straight to what I've been sitting with lately, this past week has kind of brought up time and time again. But it could very well evolve into something a little larger. So I invite you, if you're here with me, welcome. My name is Danielle. This is my account, Vibrant Systems. And in this specific video, I talk about really critical areas of personal growth that shape my journey as a business owner, as a person, as a community mentor and builder and member. And I share them with you because I know there are people who watch these videos who really resonate with what I have to share. So if that's you, thank you for joining me today. The real meat of this video comes from actually a podcast episode that I recorded with Sandy Boucher, and I will leave her information in the show notes. She is a fantastic teacher and mentor, and I am so grateful that our paths have crossed. And if you want to learn more about how they crossed, you'll have to go watch the podcast episode that I did with her. But suffice to say, she is someone who holds so much space and capacity for people to show up more and more as themselves and more for a future that is for all of us. And that includes reconciliation in a big way, but it also includes just showing up as ourselves, as more of ourselves each and every time. And even since I've started speaking with her and learning from her, she has provided and I don't even know, Sandy, if you're watching this, I don't even know if you are aware how much your guidance has helped me grow and step into more and more of who I want to be. And I know you challenged me in that podcast episode to keep doing this work. So if you are watching this, thank you. But consider this episode is for you in so many ways. To express my gratitude for that. Because in that episode we were talking and you had asked me, I don't know specifically if you asked me that, but you had asked me, have I found the community I was hoping for yet? Because my work is very centered around community building, because there is such need for that, because I feel, especially as a white person, that many of the people around me have lost the awareness and capacity for what it takes to build community. And even growing up in a rural setting, my experiences with community were always very, very limited. And you had asked me, had I found the community I was looking for? And at the time, I had not, and frankly, I still have not. But my answer in that moment was, I don't think I'm meant to. I think I'm meant to help other people build community. And frankly, if I'm being totally honest with myself, and this past week has shown me that with such clarity, that answer came from fear. Because I am terrified of building a space, a community space, and not having people become a part of it. I am terrified of opening a space up for other people, and then naturally, because other people exist in that same space, losing control. And these are things that I need to sit with 100%, because for me to do the work that I'm doing as a community mentor, helping people build and strengthen their own communities in whatever capacity those communities exist, whether it's a club or a municipality or something totally different, for me to do that work, I need to know exactly where I'm coming from. So again, Sandy, if you're watching this, thank you for putting that question in my path. So I really had to sit with why I thought my own community was out of reach, and for helping me realize that that was because of the fear I was holding from this lack of community I had growing up, from the ways that I always seemed to have friends who moved away or ended up in different classes or otherwise separated from me, that I was scared of creating this space and having nobody show up. It was a fear. It is a fear. But it's a fear that, like so many others, when we let ourselves listen to these thoughts, these fears, it's a fear that needs to be addressed and confronted and sat with. And I am at a point now where I am absolutely called to put myself in situations where that fear can be activated and where it may even be, in some ways, in some cases, validated. I'll give an example. I've been hosting since the start of 2026 virtual free webinars, and the attendance has been so low. And I still enjoy hosting them, and I post them on YouTube because ultimately it's video content that I want on my channel anyway. If you're interested in that, you can check out my guided meditations and or my building blocks for community building playlist. That is where those webinars live. But the attendance was very low. At the same time, I have to acknowledge and honor the fact that those were not truly created as community spaces. They were still very informed, and this is something I was working through. All of the things I do with Vibrant Systems are very emergent. So if you have experienced something I created even a couple months ago to now, it's going to be different. Which is why you should keep coming back, which is why you should subscribe and join me on this journey if you haven't already. But it was an emergent exploration of how I wanted to show up in that virtual webinar space. And where I've come to now, I'm realizing that using those platforms, the building blocks for community building and the guided meditations platform, right now is not necessarily the best use of my time and my energy, because they are still controlled environments in so many ways. I am still putting myself in a position of authority and leadership in those spaces that, in many ways, like, yes, I invite people to come. Yes, I invite them to share the space and share their energy in that space so it can form how those sessions go. But at the end of the day, there's still a set topic. There's still an idea I have in mind. It's not as emergent as I know I am being called to be. And so, with that, I actually want to share with you how I'm confronting this inner fear of creating a community space that maybe people will come to. Maybe they'll come and we won't resonate at all. We won't be on the same wavelength. Or maybe it will be something far greater and more amazing than I can expect. It's a challenge to myself. And if you're watching this, it's also an invitation to you. In March, I am going to start hosting weekly live Zoom sessions that are not going to be posted on my YouTube channel. So if you are subscribed already and you want to attend these sessions, you're going to have to actually register to attend these sessions, but they're going to be free. And I haven't decided if replays will be available yet. They may or may not be, but they're going to be free sessions. They're going to be closed sessions. And the focus is going to be building community together. So yes, I'm holding the space because place is such an important part of community building. And I am setting an intention that it is to draw in people who want to build community themselves and want to practice that in a space with like-minded people. And by like-minded, I mean people who understand that community is emergent and diverse, and that every interaction we have shapes how that community is going to evolve. You should head over to my building blocks of community building if you want to know what I have in mind with communities. It's not going to be all of that right away, but that is the energy that I bring to the space. And it's going to be weekly sessions where we can gather, where we can support one another, where we can discuss how to take what we're learning in that space into our physical realities, into the communities we're already a part of, or into the communities we actually want to make. And right now, that space, again, it's going to be open to anyone. It's going to be free. because I want to draw in my community. Because I am going to put myself in a position of vulnerability of maybe this video here is going to find the exact right people and you're going to join me and it's going to be amazing. In all likelihood, that first session will probably be just me practicing. But if you're someone who wants to practice with me, I encourage you and invite you so deeply to take that leap, take that chance, and join me in this practice. Because it is a practice, and it's going to be called a practice in being. So if you head over to my website, it probably won't be up yet. So head over to my website, sign up to my newsletter, so you don't miss when these sessions are live for registration. But you'll be able to register through my website, and we can do this together because we need to do it together, and we need more spaces to do it together. And if you're like me and you haven't really had access to the kind of community you crave in your physical reality, in your immediate town or municipality, or access to clubs, and you're not quite at a point where you're ready to make those exist on your own, then this is a space for you. If you've been community building for decades and you want to come and share your wisdom and knowledge with people like me, you are invited. You are so valued in this space. And if you're someone who you have a feeling that, there's something juicy in community building, it's in so many ways the next horizon for us, you are invited. And I am setting so much intention into this video that it's going to find the people who want to do this work. And if you're watching this and you're like, wow, I'm vibing with what you're saying, I'm loving what you're saying, I feel so much resonance in my own journey of community building, I do have resources you can access right away if you would like. One super low bar to entry is actually my Transforming Communities guidebook, which is fairly short, fairly simple. I'll actually throw a coupon code into the show notes if you're interested in that. It walks you through the process of setting intentions, defining values, clarifying what your vision is, looking at the pathways towards that vision, and then finally into how do we make this strategic? Because in my experience, strategic planning was introduced way too early into the process of community building. And I think those energetic, intentional aspects are so critical to changing that. The other element that I would like to introduce to you here, but of course you can just go to my website, to the Vibrant Shop, to any of the resources I have there, including my stories, including all of my videos. The other resource I'll share with you now is I am starting one-on-one community mentorship sessions. I do believe that is the name I settled on. It will also be in the show notes. But these sessions are, or rather this program is a very structured approach to how do we incorporate this Transforming Communities lessons into very intentional placemaking, intention setting, connection focused spaces. How do we combine the two? And I'm really excited to bring that into focus, into being. And I would love to see some of you there. The great thing about that is you can schedule a 20-minute free consultation session with me to talk about any of my resources that I have. So if you have questions about anything, you're welcome to schedule one of those. It is located underneath that one-on-one coaching mentorship, community mentorship, which again, the link will be in the show notes. Because that is my intention, is to draw in people who are as passionate about community building as I am, who recognize they have a lot to learn, but who are willing to start on that path. And if you're someone who's looking for a little bit of guidance, I would love to chat with you, whether you choose to buy any of my products or services or not. I would love to chat with you. I would love to invite you into this practice of being community space that I'm going to be hosting. And if you're still with me, thank you so much for your time and your energy and your attention on this video. Please leave a comment below. Please subscribe. I would love for you to come back and to continue to engage with my content, because this too is a community space. My name is Danielle. My mission is to help people deepen their connections, not only to themselves, to their own authenticity, but also to others in community spaces and to the spaces and places and environments we live in, because those really shape how we exist in community with one another. And my work is never separated from that. So again, if you resonate with this message, please subscribe, please follow for more, please leave a comment. My name is Danielle Hauk. Let's make your story a vibrant one.